people completely in love. It was beautiful, start to finish. It's an honor to be a part of it. And the other thing about like St. Lawrence, I think it's so cool that you were able to get married at the church that you grew up with. So I think that's pretty special as well. What a lot of you guys don't know is that Chris and Ari had actually written their own vows for today. And St. Lawrence at the last minute said, no, you can't do that. You have to have the traditional Catholic vows. And so they had to scrap it. Luckily for you guys, I have a copy of the vows. I'll get it in my jacket. Do you want to help me read them? Yeah. And why don't you do Chris's?
I, Chris, take my bride-to-be, Ari, my little boo-boo, my loving friend and faithful partner, with all my love from this day forward. I promise to care for you in health, and in health alone, for I'm not yet a doctor, and I really don't know how to take care of sick people. I'll provide you with unconditional love, based on these conditions. So long as you love me for me, no matter my appearance, whether or not I have hair.
Hey, Chris, you haven't had hair in a while. It's not like it's really that.
I should really have been preparing for this day your entire life. And so long as you keep me in style, gone are the days of the rotation, where I would only wear white and blue shirts. Ever since you came into my life, you provided color in a world where I knew none. Dressed me in shades of green and purple. Inside, I've always known I was a peacock. With your help, I can fly.
I'm not quite sure why everyone's laughing. I think that these vows are touching and excellent taste. These are Ari's to Chris. I, Arianne, take you as my hubby, my topi, my partner in life, and my one true love. I promise to laugh and cry with you in good times and in bad. I will always be your little teacher in life. I'll never put you in timeout. I promise never to grow tall enough to exactly see how much hair is on top of that big old mane of yours. I will always let you be the one to walk Lola, and I'll never burden you with choosing the TV channel. I think that would have been just beautiful.
But, all jokes aside, we do, Dave and I both want to say a few things to you guys. And, as far as, Chris, you've meant a lot of things to me over the years. But I think the thing that really is the biggest impact on me is the standard that you have set, the standard of being the best. When we were younger, it was about, you had the best stuff. You had the coolest shoes, always had the same stuff that you had. You're the best at basketball, somehow, out of all the grandchildren. Definitely had the best haircut, the bowl cut with the part down the middle, the gel, it's got a helmet on your head. So you were the best at that, we'll give you that. But, as we got older, you started to set the standard for things that were a little bit more important. You decided to go to Jesuit high school, the best high school in Tampa, and you did phenomenal there, so good that you got accepted to Duke, one of the best universities in the country. And from there, you did so well that you were able to follow your passion and get into USF medical school. So, pretty much your entire life, you've really had success. And I think it means a lot about someone. Anyone can handle adversity, but the true mark of a man is how you handle success. And you've been the same person, since I've known you since day one. You're unconditionally nice, and it's really just unbelievable. With all the success you've had, you've remained the same person that you are. And I've always admired that, and tried to reach that standard that you set, and I felt like I've always come up short of that standard. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because you set the bar so incredibly high. And And I guess what I'm really trying to say is that what Chris excels at is finding the things that are the best in life and achieving them and getting them. I mean, take this wedding, for example. You know, you had a fantastic decision, I think, in choosing the two best men. You know, in a typical fashion, you know, even though we're both good, you know, you had to find the best. So I appreciate you telling me, you know, right before I got up here that I was indeed the best man. Best man A, best man B, best man assistant to the best man. Semantics. But you know, all jokes aside, you know, you've always been, you know, incredible at finding the best things, and I think the best example of that is sitting right next to you, and you know, the beautiful Ari. You know, she's fun. She's brought up in a loving family, and you know, she's absolutely beautiful. So beautiful, in fact, rumor has it, you know, when you guys first met, you actually knocked Chris off of his feet with your beauty. And as Chris, you know, looked at you in the eyes, you know, he knew he was in love. And, you know, Ari had felt something that she had never felt before. She looked down at Chris. And no one wasn't feeling taller than someone for the first time. It was indeed true love. And I think the last 3 years of your relationship has shown that to be true. And I think together you guys set the standard for what a, you know, perfect, happy couple should be. And I just want to let you guys know I feel lucky to be a part of what you guys have. And I love both of you.
Oh, man.
The way I hear the story is that when Joe asked Ari she'd like to meet his friend Chris, Ari had a couple of questions. Do you have a job? Are you at least in school? Do you live at home? Or do you have your own place? And Chris's answers for those questions at the time were not what Ari wanted to hear. Ari wanted a man. Ari wanted a man that was established in a career and independent. Chris was waiting to hear back from med schools. And of course, you know, since everyone knows he's since gotten in. He's doing very well. And, you know, yet she gave him a chance. They went on a blind date, despite Chris's criteria at the time. Somehow, in an unexpected, unprecedented turn of events, Chris made enough of an impression on a female that he was able to secure a second date. The reasons why Chris loves Ari are obvious. She comes from a great family. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's funny. And for some reason, she's completely in love with Chris. Ari, I've loved getting to know you the last 3 years. You've been incredible for Chris. And I couldn't be happier that you guys had him now. Since you came into Chris's life, Chris has become that man. His confidence has skyrocketed. And that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with his style choices or the weird way he eats food. His confidence is skyrocketed. I rarely see him without that huge smile plastered all over his face. Take a look at him. He's so happy. I love the way that he looks at you, and I know that he will love you forever. Now, Chris, if I asked everybody in here to describe Chris, I don't care if you've known him his whole life or if you just met him, the word nice would be used in every description.
Yes.
Everybody here thinks he's the nicest person on the planet. And I'm going to tell you that that's not the case. Right? When we grew up, Chris was the oldest. He was the leader of the pack. He was the alpha male. He was the perfect child. I was number 2. I was the troublemaker. Taryn was the innocent little girl, never did anything wrong. And Nino was always the baby. And, you know, yeah. So whenever I would step on Nino's fingers and I innocently walk by, or make fun of Taryn to where she cried, I'm here to tell you all that Chris was the mastermind behind it all. Every crime that I committed against my cousin and my brother started with a little unnoticeable whisper in my ear where he said, yo, Dave, You know, would be really cool, or you know, be like really funny. And I would blindly carry out the mission. I wanted his acceptance, so I got in trouble a lot. I got the reputation for being a troublemaker. Under the perfect child, I'm supposed to follow his example. So, you see, Chris has always been my big brother, my role model. And although Chris wasn't always perfect, he never did wrong in my eyes. Chris is the nicest person that I know. He's the definition of nice. His patience is extraordinary. His compassion is undeniable. Dedicated beyond what I can comprehend. Those are the reasons why we all love Chris. And those are the reasons why Chris will be an amazing husband to Ari. You will continue to be my inspiration and my big brother. I love you, man.
Oh.
It's only one more sentence. I know that you two will achieve happiness however you define it. I look forward to raising our kids together like we were all raised together. By the looks of things, you better hurry up.
Cheers. Cheers.